Welcome to Unlimited Experience channel. In these video series, I will show you on how to set up your own home server from zero to hero. This is the first in a many video series, in which I will show you in details, how to install and configure virtualization and several other self-hosted apps like Nginx Reverse Proxy Manager, Nextcloud, Docker with Portainer, monitoring like Zabbix, etc. In today's video, we'll be installing Proxmox, an open-source free virtualization platform that is perfect for home server use. Things that we will need for today's video: obviously a server PC, flash drive, Proxmox installation ISO, Rufus bootable drive maker software, and maybe some patience. All links will be in the video description. Another thing worth mentioning, as the server needs network connection, you also need a router or switch to split up your home network, to set up port forwarding. But we will get to that later. If you have router or switch to what you have wired connection for personal PC and the server PC, then there should not be any issues. Okay, you might ask, why Proxmox? And that's a good question. There are several virtualization platforms available out there like Citrix Zen Center, VMware SE, or even Nginx, but for home server use and for convenience, I personally chose Proxmox. And so do you, if you are here. Virtualization server can run on any computer you have, whether it's a desktop PC or even a laptop, because if it has a working battery, it can also act as uninterrupted power supply for it. However, it's worth noting that laptops have their limitations, such as limited upgradability and storage options, so keep that in mind when deciding on the hardware for your home server setup. Now, let's talk about the resources you'll need. The more CPU and system memory your PC has, the more virtual servers you'll be able to host and manage. Of course, work with whatever you got, you can always upgrade it later on. For this video series, I'll be using a virtualized 6-core CPU, 12 GB of RAM, with a 120 GB SSD for system, and 1 TB hard drive for data storage. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to install and set up Proxmox on your own home server. Let's get started. I hope you have already a spare PC to use for this. If not, pause this video and go find some. Okay, now then you got the PC, let's get the Proxmox installation image ready. Go to Proxmox homepage and download latest Proxmox virtual environment ISO image. Next, get a flash drive, and make a bootable media drive. In this example, I will be using Rufus. It's a really simple free software for making bootable media drives. Download Rufus portable version, and start it up. Select your flash drive and device tab, then select the downloaded Proxmox ISO file, but be aware, this process will format the flash drive, so make sure then there are no important data that you need on it. And then press start. While we wait, let me tell you about our today's sponsor. Just kidding. I don't have any sponsors. Okay, pause this video and wait for your bootable media creation finishes. Oh, it was that fast, huh? Okay, now, let's start the installation process. Insert the flash drive in the server PC, start the PC up and press F9. It can vary from PC to PC, but the main idea is to get to the boot menu. When you get to the boot menu, select the flash drive that should pop up there and press enter. Now we are ready to install Proxmox. Select Install Proxmox Virtual Environment Graphical. Wait for it to initialize. As all law-abiding citizens, we pretend to read this license agreement and just press, I agree. In this step, select target drive in which you want Proxmox to be installed. In my case, it's the 120 GB SSD. If you only have one disk, select it and press next. Here enter your country, time zone, and keyboard layout, whatever crazy layout you use, and press next. Enter totally safe password, not kidding, use lowercase, uppercase letters, symbols and numbers. This is the password for root user of the Proxmox, that can do anything there, so better be safe than sorry. Then enter totally real email address and press next. Now the fun part. Here you need to enter server host name. If you have domain name, Then enter something like p.home.local. This can be changed later on, so don't worry if you don't have domain name right now. In future series, I will make a video all about domain names, Cloudflare and so on, so stay tuned. Okay, next we need to set up IP address for Proxmox. It should be already set, but I personally tend to change it, like in this example I change it to 192.168.88.199, so the Proxmox uses 199 address and the next first virtual machine we will make will start from 200 address. You can of course set it up as whatever you want. Note somewhere down the IP address and gateway, if you don't know them already, for future use. When ready, press Next. Now, look over the setup. If everything seems correct, press Install. Installation has finished, system should now restart. After the system has restarted, you will see a scary black window with some text. We are only interested in the address that is shown there. Open it up in any browser. You will be greeted with a disclaimer, then this page is not private and then you should leave. But trust me, it's safe. This is just a prompt from browser warning you, then the page you are trying to connect to does not have a valid SSL certificate. We can ignore this for now. In later videos I will show you how to deal with this. Press on Advanced and then proceed to Site. Okay, almost there. Here enter username and password. Default username is root. Password will be that super safe password you set up previously during install. Then press Login. No valid subscription. Oh, this is odd. Kidding, this is normal. We are using free community edition of Proxmox. You will always receive this message on each login. Now, let's see what we are working with. First let's open up your Proxmox server summary. And also, while we are here, under User, change color theme to Proxmox Dark. Dark mode always, everywhere. Okay, next step, we always should keep our main virtualization server updated, so it's more secure and we receive all the new features and bug fixes. Go under Updates, Repositories and do the following. Disable these two enterprise repositories as we can't use them without corporate license key, and add no subscription repository instead. Then when that's done, go back to Updates and press Refresh. When you receive confirmation, task OK. Close that window. Now press Upgrade. It will ask you to confirm package updates. At that moment just press Enter. Update process is almost done. Close this window, press refresh once more, and you will see then there are no more new packages pending updates. Now just restart Proxmox server and hope then it will wake up. You can follow restart procedure on the server monitor. Once you see that black scary screen again, go back to browser and refresh the page. Next step is adding the data drive. If you only have one hard drive in your server, then you can skip this step. In short, go to Disks tab, you will see there your unused data disk, then go under Directory and press Create Directory. Select File System XFS and enter name of the new storage drive. Then press Create. Now on the left side you can see the new storage drive show up. It can be used for virtual machine disks, Linux container disks, ISO image, Linux container image and container template storing. For example, under CT templates, you can download pre-made Linux container templates. I will show you in details in next video, the difference between virtual machine and Linux containers, reasons why to choose one over the other and in what circumstances one is better than the other. Let's make your own first Linux-based virtual machine for testing purposes. Go to Storage Drive, open ISO Images tab. Next, open another browser tab, and search for Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. Do not press on it, or it will start downloading it to your computer. Instead, right-click on it and select Copy Link Address. Now go back to your Proxmox and select Download from URL. Paste the link in URL tab, and press on Query URL. Proxmox will check the link, and if the link is fine, it will show up the name of the ISO that will be downloaded. You can edit it to your needs. When ready, press Download. And here is the first of one small issues that you may encounter in future. Download failed because it could not verify the SSL certificate. In this case, close this window, select Download from URL, paste the link same as before, but before clicking on Download, check the Advanced tab and uncheck Verify Certificates. Then press Download. Now it should finish downloading without any issues. Now then the download has finished. On top right side, press on Create VM. Here enter the name of the virtual machine, in this case it will be test. You can also check the Start at Boot, if you need this virtual machine to start when the Proxmox server starts or restarts. But that can also be changed later. Press Next. Now under ISO image, select that Ubuntu image we just downloaded. Press Next. Under System, in most cases you can leave it as it is, so press Next. Here we need to set up storage for the virtual machine. It should automatically select and set up it to default values. You can select storage in which you want the virtual disk to be stored. In this example, we will change only the disk size to 10 GB, and then press Next. Here change how many of the CPU cores we want to assign to this virtual machine. In this case we will give it 2 cores. It does not mean that you will reserve those 2 cores for only this virtual machine. It means then this virtual machine can at max use up to 100% of 2 system CPU cores. Then press Next. Under Memory, the default value of 2 GB is way too much for a simple Linux virtual machine, so we will set it to 1 GB. Uncheck the ballooning device. The ballooning device allows you to set up minimum and maximum memory for the virtual machine to use. It's a good practice to set it up if you have limited memory and have a lot of virtual machines, so they do not reserve all the system memory without using it. When ready, press Next. Under Network tab, do not change anything. Default values are okay, just press Next. Check over the setup. If everything seems okay, press Finish. If not, go back, change what you want and then press Finish. On the left side you will see the new just created virtual machine. Select it, there under Hardware and Options. You can change things up if you need or want. Now, let's start the virtual machine. Press on Start and then open Console tab. Wait for the virtual machine to initialize. Now, select language for the installation, press enter. Select continue without updating and press enter. Set system language and press enter. Here leave selected Ubuntu server and you guessed it, press enter. This part will be a bit tricky. If you have never worked with IP address setup, then you can skip the static IP setup, as this is just a test virtual machine. Or experiment and learn. So now let's adjust the IP address of the server. We always want virtual machines to have a dedicated static IP address, so select the network interface, and select Edit IPv4, change method to manual. Now enter the following information as I do, but replace my address with your network address. For example, if Proxmox installation address was 192.168.88.199, then we want this virtual machine to use 192.168.88.200. Do the same with your local IP address. When you have set it all up similar to my example, save the configuration. Now we wait and see if the virtual machine gets network connection. If it gets network connection, it will change from continue without network to done. Select it and press enter. On the proxy tab, just press enter. Under storage configuration, leave as it is and select done. Again, just press enter. Here, fill in the requested information, similar as I do. When ready, select done and press enter. Press enter again. Now here, always check the install Open SSH server. If you don't install it, you will not be able to use SSH protocol to connect to your virtual machine from, for example, your personal PC. Now select done and press enter. Do not select any of the offered packages for now. We will return to more in-depth virtual machine installation and setup in future videos. This is just to test your Proxmox system, so select done and press enter. And installation have begun. Pause video and wait for 2 to 4 weeks until it finishes installing. When you reach unmount/CD-ROM, continue playing this video. Now just press enter. Virtual machine will restart into the newly installed Ubuntu 22.04 LTS server. After the virtual machine has restarted, you can try to log into it. Use your username and password that you set up during the install process of this virtual machine. After successful login, we want to update the virtual machine to the latest available update with command sudo apt update. It will ask for password again. When update finishes, we need to apply the update, so execute command sudo apt upgrade. When asked for confirmation, just press enter. If you receive this awful purple screen, just press tab and enter. Now the system is updated. You can check system processes like in Windows Task Manager with command top. Exit the top with simple keyboard combo, Ctrl+C. That's it, you now have working Proxmox virtualization server with one Ubuntu virtual machine. You can see how much resources it uses under the virtual machine summary, and the whole server usage under the server selection and summary. We have come to the end of today's video. You can keep practicing by making more virtual machines, testing some settings in them. Just play around and try not to break it till the next video, haha. If you want to delete any virtual machine you have made, select it, on top right corner, stop the virtual machine and under, more, destroy it. Always check both checkboxes in the deletion screen when removing the virtual machine, so it also deletes its assigned virtual disks and frees up used space. In the next video, I will show you more in-depth information about the Proxmox itself, and we will set up everything you need for public site creation. That includes getting your own free or paid domain name, setting up Nginx Reverse Proxy Manager, configuring Cloudflare, and router port forwarding. It will be a fun and useful video, so please, if you haven't already, subscribe and leave comment below about what we should improve, and what next would you like to learn. Also, if you have any issues during the setup, comment it and I will try to help in the comment section. Welcome to the virtualization world. See you next time.